Hi guys. I read a lot. June and the end of May has been like a really weird reading frenzy for me. I think in the last couple of weeks I've read like 10 plus books. I've read 2 books today. I've actually been able to get rid of them, get them off my shelf. But I read a whole bunch of manga for June. Yeah. And I didn't want to make 4 different videos or 5 different videos or whatever, so I'm just gonna kind of smush it all into one. So the last thing I read was Vampire Knight, which is a show. It's fairly popular, so I chose to read it because it was so popular, and I've actually watched like the first couple episodes of the show on Netflix. I only read the first 2 volumes of all of this, because that was all that I had time to read. So the manga starts out with this girl and this guy, and they go to a school that has day classes and night classes. And the day classes are just like, it's a normal high school for humans, just normal school. And then at night, it's the school for the vampires, and I'm really not sure how that differs, like what these vampires are learning. And this girl and her friend are there to keep the peace during the transition period between night and day. And this other guy that she works with, Zero, his family was killed by a pureblood vampire, and he was bitten by that vampire. That's pretty much it. That's really the whole point of the story. It wasn't half bad. It's not bad, it's just not what I was interested in. I think I gave it like a 4, because it wasn't bad, it just wasn't what I wanted. And then the next to last book that I read was FullMetal Alchemist. And I have never read the manga, but I've watched every episode of the original and Brotherhood. So, I love FullMetal Alchemist, I really do. And then reading the manga, I'm just like, I have Vic Mignogna's voice going through my head. It's awesome. I think he's like 13, this young boy named Edward Elric, he works for the military, and he has this ability to transmute things and use alchemy, and he and his brother are going across the land trying to discover the Philosopher's Stone. That's pretty much it. Well, sort of. He has a few personality problems. He doesn't like milk, and he has a Napoleon complex because he's 13. His brother, Alphonse Elric, is a couple years younger than him. I think he's 11. And he is encased in a suit of armor. When they were much younger, like a couple of years younger, their mother died, and I'm not sure, but it seems like she had cancer or some long-term disease, and they attempted to resurrect her and failed. Edward lost his arm and his leg. Actually, I think he lost his arm and he gave up his leg because Alphonse's body was taken, and he sealed his soul into this suit of armor that was just in the corner of the room to keep his brother alive. So Alphonse's soul is imprinted on this armor, and so he moves it like it's his own body, but it's like 7 feet tall. It's a giant suit of armor. As I said before, I really like this series. I especially like the anime, mostly because I'm lazy and sometimes reading is difficult. It was a great original idea. I have not heard of this idea anywhere else. Pretty awesome. I do suggest anybody read it, or watch it, do something, interact with the series in some way, because it's great. And before that, I read Blackbird, which is like a whole thing all by itself. It is really, really sexual in some ways. in a lot of ways. So the main character's name is Misao? I don't know. I've just called her Missy in my head. So Missy is, she turns like 16 or 15 or something, and she gets attacked by a demon, and it turns out that she is this like rare person with rare blood, and if a demon feeds her, he gets powers, and if he feeds on her blood, something happens, and if he marries her and keeps her forever, then his clan gets super powerful, and they're awesome for a while. Her friend Kyo saves her, and she's got some superfluous cuts and nothing like big is happening. But it turns out he's a demon, and his saliva has the ability to heal. He wants her to marry him so that he can have all this clan power, but they've known each other for a while, they're like childhood friends. So he's convinced that he also loves her for real, and she's convinced that he doesn't. So there's a lot of sexual, not so innuendo, just blatant, outright in your face. And if you're not comfortable with that, you probably shouldn't read it. But it's funny. It is. It's really entertaining, and I did like it. And I plan on reading at least part of the rest of the series. And then the series that I read before that was D.Gray-Man, which I was also really surprised by and really, really liked. So the premise of D.Gray-Man is that this 15-year-old boy was born a demon hunter. I really don't know how else to describe it. He was born with the ability to destroy these weapons, these demonic weapon things, that are forged from, like, human souls. So there's this mysterious substance in the world known as innocence that is used to create these demonic weapon things called Akuna, and he just has the ability to destroy those weapons, because he has this cross in his hand that he was born with, I believe, and it just gives him magical powers. So he, as an exorcist, goes around and gets rid of these demonic souls, and the creator of these weapons is the Millennium Earl, and of course there's a few battle scenes and a lot of combat. All in all, I thought that the storyline was really good. Even just the premise of this plot was fairly original. There are a lot of like exorcism type deals, but turning a human soul into an actual weapon that like shoots bullets and stuff is kind of new. So thank you for watching. All of my links and stuff are down below, all of my Goodreads things. Feel free to comment and let me know how you felt about any of these books. Please, especially Vampire Knight, is it worth it? And I will see you guys get soon with that book haul.